affected by the outages have diverse political beliefs, but we need to make sure that we come consolidated to the media so that they know what we're here for and what needs to happen. Speak respectfully, no hate speech against any group of people or slanderous personal attacks. It's okay to disagree with people, but not to call them names. Wait for your turn to speak, no interruptions, and also try to have not too many prolonged speeches. Be brief. The speaker sign-up form is right here. To the folks that are new, if you're interested in speaking, come on down, sign up, and we'll get started shortly. I think for our first speaker,
we have Greg.
I spent 15 years responding to disasters full time. And I'm sad to see an event like this that we knew that there would be power issues and there wasn't a train of trucks on its way. Because usually when I would head down to an event, I would be in a caravan of power company trucks. And so I was sad about that. But one of the reasons why I wanted to come, and I've got 5 points that I'm hoping the media will help get out, is there's a second disaster on its way. I've been without power for a week. My daughter is still without power. And the houses that are cold are going to have pipes that are going to break. Now, there's a way to mitigate that, but I don't think the information is getting out. You've got P-traps that have water sitting and it's going to freeze. So by just pouring down RV antifreeze into your pipes, shutting off your power at the street, having your faucets open is going to be a big help. When power is brought back, warm your house up first, several hours, and then start to bring your water back on in a controlled manner so that if you have leaks, that you can mitigate it just to the water point and not have damage to your floors and to your walls. And I think this is important information that needs to get out there. So that's why I came here. Thanks.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg. So we're glad that everybody's sharing testimonies. This is a space to actually be heard, because the city so far has refused to listen to the people. Emily is the next person. Let's go, Emily. Yes. Right, hello. Let me get my... Right, testing?
Test. Oh, I think that might be better. Hold on. Oh, wow, it's cold. Testing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Right, hello. Hi, my name's Emily, and the beginning message is for the NES board. This disaster is not a surprise. It is not unprecedented. It is the result of poor decision-making and the choice to place money over people. NES's publicly available annual report for 2025 shows NES is financially strong with, quote, cash on hand exceeding target levels and excellent credit ratings. NES has the money to help us. The same report states that costs increased due to greater storm labor. What this means to me is that they were made aware that this is dangerous work and requires skilled, pricey labor. And NES was not prepared because there are not enough workers being paid enough to get the job done quickly. If NES cared for the people of Nashville the way they claim, they would bring in every available union crew and pay every lineman more. NES's report also shows that tree trimming and vegetation management expenses have fluctuated from year to year, instead of steadily increasing as the service area continues to grow and bring them more money. The neglect is planned and always leaves us with the same result. Some neighborhoods getting power back fast, while working class neighborhoods sit in the dark and cold for days without the financial means to find other accommodations. NES also admits the grid is old. In 2025, we're replacing infrastructure from 1914 while acknowledging the increased frequency of extreme weather. NES knew and still wasn't ready. Electricity is not a luxury. It is heat, it is medicine, and it is survival for the people of Nashville. To the mayor, every city does not have their power grid knocked out for a week after an ice storm. No one is prepared for historic events is a joke. Grow a pair and demand better for your constituents. And to the council, oversight is your job. If the NES board does not put workers and residents first, you force them to. Right, and I'm going to finish out with 3 simple demands. 1, pay the linemen more. 2, increase the hiring of linemen permanently. And 3, harden our infrastructure instead of chasing endless growth. Thank you.
Let's go, Emily. Okay. Hi, y'all. I'm Cecilia, and I am going to be walking you over the last few days where we've all been freezing to death. There's 4 people that have died so far. 5 people that have died so far. They said that we were dramatic and divisive by saying that NES and Metro Council and Metro Nashville needed to hire more linemen so grandmas would not be found dead in their homes. And that's exactly what's happening. Over the last few days, over 1,400 people signed our petition demanding that NES and Metro Nashville becomes accountable and hire the linemen that are required to do the job that is necessary. Fox 17 and the Tennessean uncovered stories that corroborate the fact that NES rejected the help for more linesmen, including email evidence. Dozens of linemen have spoken up all over social media. They have given testimonies to the Tennessean. The Tennessean featured a quote by one of the IBEW members who were in charge of coordinating storm lists for Winter Storm Fair here in Nashville. That was somebody that was on the ground and knew what was going on. Then the people who prefer to support and defend politicians due to self-interest went on like a mob and starting trashing this specific IBEW member, sharing his Facebook, his personal Facebook stories, and delegitimizing and slandering him based on his political beliefs. As if that invalidates their actual lived experience. The Tennessean has not withdrawn or retracted that article because what they put in there is true. NES rejected more help that could have saved thousands and thousands of lives. And as a result of the fact that they're cheap, now thousands and thousands of people have been freezing in the dark for over a week, and it's going to be about 2 weeks because they said that these outages are going to last even into next week. So what does the mayor, what does Metro Nashville, what does their political clique decide to do? They decide to prioritize a publicity campaign over saving lives and do their jobs. They even brought the top leadership at the IBEW District 10 to contradict the opinions, the lived experience of the rank and file. That is shameful. I believe the rank and file. We could have different political opinions, but at the same time, that doesn't matter. You were there. You are doing the work. You're the one doing the job of getting the power back in understaffed and underpaid conditions. And they say, oh yeah, we do have some union members. These are all rumors. Delegitimizing and dismissing people's lived experiences. What happened later? What just happened today? Afton Ben just said and went on her Instagram to say, actually, the linemen were right. And this is true. So they spent valuable hours of time where they could have been preparing for the next winter, round of winter storms coming up and the cold weather that we're about to face this weekend. And they spend those hours instead with their PR teams. Testimonies from IBEW members keep piling up. Local 429 members have said that their international is chastising them for speaking up. And some IBEW members are even being threatened with their jobs. So we are here to demand one thing. Metro Nashville, NES, pick up your slack. Repeat after me. Hire more linemen. Hire more linemen. Stop being cheap. Stop being cheap. Save more lives. Thank you. Now we have Anthony.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anthony. I've been living in Nashville for about 5 years, but I've grown up traveling to Nashville, having family here my whole life. I come from Florida, where much of my life as a youth, we experienced hurricanes, tropical storms, the whole gamut of things. So I've seen preparedness. I've seen people work in urgency to take care of people and to prevent loss of life. I've seen people, like the man mentioned earlier, have trucks lined up, food lined up, materials lined up. There was no question, and there was proof of preparedness on the front end. But going back to 2024, we had a storm, not as cold as this one, not as icy as this one, but many of our roads in South Nashville were frozen in to the point that we could not leave. We watched several of our neighbors sliding up and down the road, and at that time, what we realized is Nashville does not have snowplows. It doesn't have people salting the roads. And my hope was down the line that we would see more preparedness. I hope that that example would put our leadership in a position to take this more seriously. But like everybody has mentioned so far, NES and Metro Nashville have prioritized funding and preserving funding, maybe for the stadium, I don't know, but obviously not for preserving the life of people. Shame. I don't have much more to say, but I am very sad, but I'm also proud of my community members. Not the city, but the way that community members have gone out of their way. I sat in a group chat where my boss went out of her way to take disabled folks who lost power and to this day still don't have power to a warming shelter. I've watched people go out of their way to prepare food, open up their homes. However, it doesn't need to be this way. It never had to be this way. And one more fact. As a person who was a labor organizer, I have seen time and time again how Metro Nashville specifically, and I assume NES works in a similar way through their procurement boards, chooses to pay for cheaper labor, chooses to outsource labor, and not get the quality that we need. And I've seen that evidence even this week as I watch folks, doing their best to clear the streets, but obviously they were not prepared, and they were hired through third-party contractors where they're not going to give them what they need to be warm in the city. They're not going to give them the proper materials to direct traffic, and pretty much just doing, excuse my language, but a shitty job. And that goes to the budget, that goes to the funding and what you choose to prioritize. Anyways, I'm going to pass it on to the next person. Hire the linemen. Hire more linemen. Who's next?
So we have, who would like to speak next? Open mic.
Hello. So my name's Terry Ketch. This has been an unmitigated disaster of leadership that quite frankly does not discriminate across party lines. I think we can have blame for the leadership of NES, of Nashville, of the state of Tennessee, our governor, and our senators. No one has stepped up to do the job here. I am lucky enough that I am physically able and financially able to get my family out of a house that has not been heated for days now. There are people that are unable to do this. I had a telehealth with one of my 91-year-old patients today who is unable to leave her home. She is at extreme risk of dying this weekend because of the absolute terrible job that NES has done here to not only prepare for this chronically, acutely, or react to this natural disaster. I am extremely disappointed in the communication from NES. I am extremely disappointed again in any semblance of leadership here. I am fearful of how many deaths we do not know about. There are people that are suffering. There are people that are dying. People have to go to the hospital because they don't have power for their oxygen. I know this. And then lastly, our media needs to do a better job of defining the difference in a customer or an outage in reference to how many people that is. One outage does not mean one person. If there are 80,000 or 70,000 outages, my guess is that's probably 250,000 people. If NES would stop using the term outage or customer, let's talk about the people, then we understand, since they can't say the word people, we understand that they don't care about the people. So that's about all I have to say. Again, I am profoundly disappointed in everything that has been done here. Again, I'm out of my home. I have no electricity. I'm here for the people that cannot get out of their homes. Thank you.
Who would like to speak next? You want to come speak?
Hello. I have been out of power since 6:30 on Sunday morning, and I still don't have power. My birthday is Sunday, and I'm wondering if I'm going to spend it in the dark and cold. I have been fortunate enough to be couch surfing with a friend. I have a dog and a cat, so that's made it very difficult to figure out where I can go. I have had friends who are spending their monthly rent or mortgage on a couple of nights staying on an Airbnb or hotels right now. This is unacceptable. It is unaffordable. I have spent my past week without power helping one of my elderly neighbors exit her house. She couldn't exit because she was disabled. She didn't even know about the warming shelters. She wasn't getting communications. She thought that she was gonna, when I texted her on Monday, she was like, I'm entering early stages of hypothermia. I feel like I'm gonna die. I told her about the warming station. At that point, transportation support was not even offered. So even if she had known about the warming stations, she had no vehicle. She is disabled. Her entire porch was covered in ice. Me and my husband had to go and dig her out. After we took her, someone else found out that we were helping. We were able to get them to the warming shelter as well. I have helped some of my friends' parents who are severely disabled clear their porches. They've been living on generators for 4 to 5 days and their houses are still freezing. When you are old and elderly, it is so hard to stay warm. Your houses are not insulated when they're really old. These people are miserable, so they finally booked a hotel, but they couldn't get to the hotel unless we came and cleared their driveway. And we had already been helping them with fuel restocking. These generators are costing people so much money in gas. I've had people refill their generators so often. You cannot get a good night's sleep because you have to refill your generator every 4 to 5 to 6 hours. Anyone with a generator has not slept a full 8 hours here. This is unacceptable. The people in my community are suffering. They don't have the resources they need. On Monday, I could not figure out if it was going to be a day or a month without power, so I wasn't sure if I should risk the roads or not. I wasn't sure if I was going to leave my house, have a wreck, and then my power come back on, because there was no communication from this government. Absolutely none. We cannot make good decisions for ourselves if we don't have all the information. We deserve the information, and this government has completely dropped the ball on that. I'm here to speak for myself, but also the dozens of people on my street without power. My neighbor's pipe just burst across the street after going so long. So people in our community are suffering. They are dying. They are getting carbon monoxide poisoning. This is just absolutely unacceptable. And this administration keeps telling us Nashville strong. No acceptance that something is wrong. No acceptance that they could do better. They're telling us that we need to shut up because this is too hard for them. They're doing their best. Nashville strong. That is not okay when my family members and my loved ones are dying.
My name's Patrick Simmons. I'm here from Bellevue area. I've been without power since 5:30 a.m. on Sunday. Can you hear me better now? Okay, there we go. All right, day 6 without power. I've been without power since 5 a.m. on Sunday, if you couldn't hear me. I've spent hundreds on hotels right before rent is due. Let's not forget that. Rent is due on the 1st. Everybody still has to pay rent. I'm sure you guys have noticed the fluctuations in your energy bills the past few months. Where'd that extra money go? It didn't go to tree trimming, did it? It absolutely did not. And then we hear we care a lot in the post. That's all they post for people, supposedly working on things. They have 300, then 900 linemen, then 1,000 today. We have 1,000 linemen. We don't even have one per household. That's unacceptable. So what I propose is that we need a timeline by neighborhood for when power is going to be restored. I mean, that seems pretty basic, right? Okay, cool. We need to redo the communications system ASAP, because I don't know about y'all, but I've been getting plenty of texts that my power's been back in 3 times. Okay, right? And then I left my hotel because they said my power's back, right? And then it's not back. And they said they're going to stop doing that, and then they did it again. Right? Okay, that's fun. That's fun. Cool. But then we had a 92-year-old die because they slipped and fell today and no one noticed. A Nashvilleian, 92 years old, died today because they slipped and fell in their house and they died of hypothermia. This is not a joke. This is people dying. There's the outrage when people die in the streets because of protests. Where is the outrage when a 92-year-old dies? There's not. Where are the posts from our mayor? They're not. That's right. And the CEO, I think, needs to be replaced. Corporate communications needs to be replaced. Who's in charge of dictating labor allocations needs to be replaced. Social media teams need to be replaced. How many of y'all got a text? Hey, follow what we're doing on social media. What? Not doing anything. Right? Pardon me. Almost got carried away there. I already mentioned jacking around our rates. There we go. Putting patches on things when they really need to fix the infrastructure and do some more tree trimming. I heard that Teresa wants to maintain the canopy. That's great. Okay, what does that do for power? What does that do for keeping a 92-year-old from freezing to death? How many people have we had freeze to death? So, and I think they need to wipe everybody's bills clean and give them a credit equal to whatever they had to come out of pocket for during the storm for hotels and groceries and everything else that we've had to come out of pocket for to keep running. I own my own businesses, so I'm fortunate enough to keep my businesses running by going to a hotel, right? Think of how many people cannot right now. Our economy is in the pits. And look at what we're doing. Look at the post. Oh, we care a lot. We care a lot. I don't think they care, and I think they need to answer. That's all I got to say.
Oops, sorry. Everyone, my name is Jonathan. I live very close to here. We lost power, myself and my parents, around same time, 5:30 a.m. Sunday. We luckily got it back on last night. When we were in a hotel, we found out, not because anybody from NES or the government or anything texted us, but because our neighbors saw our lights come back on and they texted us. So that's how we found out. So luckily I'm able to get power back, but I drove here straight from work because the situation is completely untenable, as has been attested to many times. And something sent me over the edge last night that I'm sure you guys have probably all seen too. Our senator, Blackburn, is meeting with Nicki Minaj and not doing anything for us. It's insane. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I also want to point out one other thing. I've lived in Nashville for my entire life. Well, technically, I was born on the road in Hendersonville, but whatever. This city, this view did not look like this. I mean, even like 5 or 10 years ago. We have plenty of funds when it comes to enticing businesses that are not going to pay their fair share in taxes to come and set up their HQ here or set up their data centers or whatever. But when it comes to people, 92-year-olds dying in their house, we got nothing. I'm completely sick and tired of it. And thank you for hosting this town hall, because I needed to scream about it. And let's continue to build from here. Every single person here has the ability to organize with their neighbors, create a council, coordinate those councils, and hopefully we get some answers for this catastrophe in the coming weeks and months. Yeah. Thank you guys. That's all I had.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Hi, my name is Jason. I was actually down here protesting on Wednesday morning because I woke up Wednesday for the third day without power and was pissed off. I'm not by nature an activist. I don't go around picketing. I told my wife, I think I did this one time maybe in high school because we wanted a McDonald's in the lunchroom or something stupid. But Wednesday morning when I woke up, had no idea when we might have power, looked at the outage list, and they say that they work it in the order of the largest outages to the smallest outages. We were number 200. We'd been over number 200 for like 3 days. Every day we were like, oh, maybe we'll be 180, maybe we'll be 150, maybe we'll be 120. We just kept being over 200, had no expectation of when we would get power. We had enough candles to keep our room at 46 degrees. We had the rest of our house at 36 degrees. We were monitoring pipes, we were dripping the faucets, trying to do everything we can to make sure when the power did come back, we wouldn't also have failed plumbing that everybody in Nashville is going to have happen, and we're all going to be desperate to try and get the same plumbers. So I came down here, I made up some signs, I told my wife, I posted on Twitter, and I came down here and I walked up and down this road for like 3 hours, pissed off, not blocking traffic, not making a mess, but just trying to be seen and heard, because they don't care how much we complain on social media. They can ignore that. They're ignoring their own account, posting stupid pictures that's like promotional material when what we need is real information. What are they actually doing? When are we actually going to get power? So I did that for 3 hours, and then I was like, you know what? The mayor's office is down the way. I'm going to go talk to the mayor. I went to the mayor's office, got to talk to somebody. He took my name. I got to express my concern, my frustration. You know, I didn't get really anywhere, so I was like, I'll